What is up, my beautiful people? It's your girl Snatched by Survey here, and we are back with another video.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So today's video, we are up close and personal, all up in my business, and y'all don't even know what flavor it is. But today we are doing our brows. So I did a brow tutorial, almost, not really a brow tutorial, but kind of showing on Instagram what I did to tint my brows at home to save that coin, baby, because tinting your brows can add up, especially if you're supposed to go like every 2 or so weeks. That's like $40 every 2 weeks. Go ahead and save money on your brows. Okay, so I'm gonna be showing you, babes, how to tint your own brows at home and do it under $20. Okay, so if you want to see how you can tint your own brows at home, make sure you stay tuned and keep watching because you definitely want to see this too. Now, we were supposed to have our lashes done for this video, but we're not going to talk about that. So we're just going to hop right into it. I'm going to show you, babes, what you're going to need in order to get this done at home. And yeah, this video is not sponsored at all. I'm just sharing with you guys because I did have someone on Instagram reach out and ask how did I actually do it, and I kind of went over it in my last video for my like mini birthday vlog, but I'm going to be showing you guys what tools I'm going to be using, how I actually apply it, and yeah, just pretty much the application process. So let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, you're going to go ahead and go to your local Target and pick up Just for Men. Don't sweat, don't get nervous, okay? I'm telling you, trust me. You're gonna go ahead and pick up Just for Men. This is the beard dye. So you wanna get the beard dye and not the hair dye. That's just what I find works best. I've never tried the hair dye, but I'm not going to. We're gonna stick with the beard dye and call it a day because it's on our face. Beard is on a man's face, our eyebrows are on our face. And we're not trying to do nothing to our face crazy, have us out here looking crazy, okay? So go ahead, pick up the Just for Men beard dye, and I got mine in dark brown, which is the M45. Do what you feel works best for your hair color. My hair looks black, but it very much is dark brown, so I picked up the dark brown color, and this is what I use to apply on my brows, okay? So next things next, you are going to pull out the directions. I really don't use directions, but if you are a directions type of person, go ahead and read through the directions so that way you make sure you do everything down to a T. And we are going to be using the base color, which is in this tube, and we're also going to be using the developer. So you're going to use two, and I typically use equal parts of both. So I use equal parts of the color and equal parts of the developer, and I mix the two together to create the dye that we're going to apply on our brows, okay? And your brow color should look a little bit like this. If you are doing the dark brown M45 color, it should look like this when it's pretty much fully developed in color. If you can see what that looks like, it's a very like muddy looking brown. It looks a little scary, not gonna lie, but this is the color that you want. This is what you want it to look like. When it looks like this, you know it's pretty much done developing, okay? If it's still a little bit lighter, leave it, let it sit, let it get really dark and muddy looking, and you have the perfect color. Okay, so we have this, and then I'm going to be applying my color with this brow pencil. So I would say brow pencil, but it's really like a brow brush. And this is an e.l.f. eyebrow duo. So you have the spoolie at one end and the angle brush on the other side. And this is typically what I apply it with. I use the spoolie to basically shape my brows and comb it through. And then we apply. So go ahead and do your brows. If you need to clean your brows up, go ahead and clean your brows up. I've already done mine off camera. So I've plucked my brows, shaped them, tweezed them, did everything I needed to do in order to get my shape. And this is what my natural brow is looking like. This is the good brow. This one over here, she be struggle busting a little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna get her all the way together. So this is what your girl's brows are looking like, and we are going to go ahead and start applying the color. color. So I'm gonna try to get as close as I can to the camera so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, exactly how I'm applying it. If you normally apply your eyebrows when you do your makeup with a brow pencil, it's very similar strokes, very similar motions to when you're doing your natural brows without the color, when you're doing it with like a regular pencil. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to fill them in as if I'm doing my brows. Okay, so we are up close and personal. Y'all can see my lashes, they look crazy, but don't mind it, don't mind it, don't mind it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my color. I'm just gonna take the pencil, I keep saying pencil, but I'm gonna take the brush and I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in. And I try not to do too much, and I just knock it on. And just so you know, this is like a plastic cup. I just cut it down so that way I can kind of like mix it, play around, use it as kind of like my paint palette, if you will. So this is what I do, and I just normally knock the excess off on the side just so we don't have too much. And I try to put some on both sides of the brush, knock it so it's not too much. And I take it and we're gonna go ahead and start applying. Try not to go too heavy-handed, especially here in the front, because you want that feathered, tapered looking brow. If you feel like you need a little bit more, go ahead and add a little bit more. I'm gonna do that stroke motion for like hair like brush strokes, so we can get the hair like brush strokes in the front, but still very much tapered. And I like to keep the angled side, the tip, the point, the most pointed part of the brush facing down when I'm flicking up. I just feel like that does give me the best overall look. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. And then when I'm doing my arch, I like to face the point towards the inside of my brow. So it's literally like you're filling in your eyebrows. You're not doing anything crazy. Typically, like for this part, I'll take the flat side and just brush it on just so I can get that color on there. And then clean it up here at the bottom. Try to make sure that your hand is nice and steady, especially around the edges. Because this is like paint almost, if you will, you have to be careful not to try to like brush it on as if you're doing with the front. You can, but when you get towards areas that may be a little bit sparse in your brows, you want to just like dab it on, but make sure that you're staying within your guideline and your range, because if you brush away, it's going to take away the product and not actually apply the product on your brow. So you kind of just want to pat it on like so and stay within your frame, so that way you can keep within your brow. All right. Now when we're doing our tail, again, feather down. And I like to sometimes brush my brow hairs down as well, just so I can see what's going on, because sometimes it can like get a little messy. If you don't trust yourself and you don't trust that you have a steady hand and you can already see the difference with the two, go ahead and get some Vaseline, and you can put the Vaseline, the top portion and the bottom portion, so that way if you do get any of the dye on your up top parts that doesn't belong, it doesn't stain or get on the Vaseline, and you can just wipe that right off. But let's not jinx ourselves, but I think I have a pretty good steady hand. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and apply like so. And yeah, so that's pretty much like literally all I do. And I just go back and perfect whatever I feel needs to be perfected. Add more strokes. clean it up. And then typically when I do finish applying on both, I will let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and get a warm rag, and you're gonna wipe it off with a warm rag and start with the one that you did first. So that way it doesn't overdo it or make your eyebrows too dark. I've never left it on too long, so I don't know exactly what will happen. Look how so much more fuller the brow looks already. Like, it looks so much more fuller. It's going to look a little bit darker than normal because, you know, the dye is still on there. But once you take it off, you'll see. So you're just going to dab that on there, get the color everywhere that you need it. And I typically do this because it gives my brow a much more fuller look. I've always wanted to get my brows microbladed or micro shaded, but it is very expensive. So if you want to save on cost, you typically do get your brows done. You typically, if you naturally have thick brows, all the power to you. I was not born with thick brows. I mean, they're okay, they ain't terrible, but I wish that they were just a little bit thicker. But yeah, so that's that. But if you typically get your brows done, tinted, save your coin, sis, because you can do it at home. I promise you, you'll get the same look for half the price, even less than half the price, okay? So you see how this part right here is looking a little bit sparse? I'm just gonna dab that color on there so we can get in that little crevice. Like so, and it's filled in. So you're gonna do your brows similar to that. As you can see, there's still some sparse places here, so I'm just gonna fill those in. Keeping it light-handed in the front just so it's not too dark and you still get that feathered like effect and look. If you wanna extend your brow just a little bit, not too much, you can also go ahead and extend it with some brush-like strokes and extend your brow. And that's for the ladies who feel like their brow is not like long enough or doesn't go too far in, or if you want like a more of a feathered look, you can do that as well. All right, so brow one is done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the second brow off camera because if not, we will be here for forever. And then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like on, and then we're gonna take it off and I'm gonna show you guys the actual reveal, okay? So this is one on, off, on, off, okay? Okay, so your girl is back. We have our warm rag here. We're gonna start with this brow because this is the brow that we did first, and then we're gonna move over to this one and go ahead and wipe this off, and that will complete this little tutorial. So let's go ahead and wipe away the dye. Oh, I wish I had my schoolie. I left it in the bathroom. But yeah, take this one. This rag is not really wet, but it's wet enough. And wipe away. And try to get all the dye off. Now, sometimes if you feel like it isn't exactly how you want it, you can always go back in and fill in some of the sparse areas. But again, it's going to go on the hair. So if you do have places where there isn't any hair or much hair there, remember, it's not really going to stick to your skin. But this is the final look of the brows. This isn't with me adding any concealer, anything like that. I may go in and fill this one in just a little bit more. But yeah, this is what the final product looks like. The brows. So this is what your girl's brows look like. And yeah, so go ahead, pick you up from some Just for Men and get your brows done at home. Save yourself some coin and yeah, why not? Okay, so thank you, babes, so much for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. This is a video that I typically don't record, but I did get someone on Instagram that did ask about how that I do my brow tint. So I just wanted to share with all of you guys as well, so you guys can see how your girl tints her brows at home and save that coin, girl. Okay, save that money, and it just makes your filling in the brow process so much easier and quicker, because literally I will only fill like maybe right here and call it a day and we're good to go. So this is the final product, the final look. I'll post a before up here so you guys can see kind of like a side by side, and yeah, that is literally it. That is all you have to do. It is so simple, so easy. It does not take rocket science to do this at home. So this is what the brows look like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're currently at 426, okay? So don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and follow your girl on Instagram so you can get notified every time your girl uploads. But like I always say, before I go, if I could do it, you could do it too. So get up and just do it. Peace.